In the Health Center tonight, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month. This year's theme is You Are Not Alone, with the goal of helping Americans understand ways they can get help and bring communities together. Now, according to the latest data from the National Alliance on Mental Health, 20% of U.S. adults experience mental health illness. This happened in 2019. 1 in 6 kids between 6 and 17 years old experience a mental health disorder each year. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14 and 75 by age 24. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people between 10 and 34 years old.
To make that decision to receive help is not a sign of weakness. In today's world, more than ever, it is a sign of strength.
In a new docu-series aimed to raise awareness about the importance of mental health and healing from trauma, Prince Harry, Lady Gaga, Oprah, and others are opening up about their lives, revealing deep secrets and talking about how therapy helped them to confront and grow from traumatic experiences. Joining us now to talk more about this docu-series and mental health is Dr. Jessi Gold. She's an assistant professor at Washington University in St. Louis. Dr. Gold, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So The Me You Can't See, that's the name of the docuseries. It includes stories of celebrities struggling with mental health. How do influential figures like this, speaking openly about the issue, open the conversation up and empower people to get help?
It's incredibly important. I think it's one of the topics we don't talk about enough in this country, especially, and seeing somebody that you look up to and understand in other contexts is really powerful, specifically in groups that don't traditionally talk about mental health, underrepresented minorities, in particular men. You know, having someone like Prince Harry talk about it, you see someone that you don't, you might say is stoic, and then all of a sudden says, like, here's what I learned about in therapy, here's what it's like to feel emotions, here's why I got help. And so then you're at home going, I'm experiencing that too. I might need help too. It's okay. It's even cool to get help. And so you recognize the symptoms in yourself and maybe will get help too.
Yeah, he talked about it. It's actually a sign of strength, which is really good advice. Do you see the stigma associated with mental health issues getting better?
I mean, I definitely think it's getting better. I see college students and they definitely talk about it a lot more amongst themselves, and they talk about it a lot more regularly. I think they say, like, I'm getting therapy to their friends, but I do think I see patients for medication because I'm a psychiatrist. Medication's still a lot more taboo. They talk about medications in the series, so I think that's helpful too. But I have some patients where their parents throw away their medication when they go home, where their friends say things like, going to therapies for our girlfriends, not for us. And so I think it still exists as much as people think it's a lot better. So it's really good that we're still having these conversations and still trying to break it down.
And we're seeing more workplaces in the U.S. start to recognize the need for mental health tools and resources, and also to understand the burnout factor, right? How does the workplace play into a person's overall well-being?
A lot. I mean, I think especially this year where like our workplaces were just completely upended and people were sent home, or, having to wear masks in the workplace, or having to do frontline work without a choice and having risk in the workplace, having the idea that mental health is incorporated into the risk and that will be part of the problem going back in a workplace that looks different, that feels different, and that's acknowledged as part of like what work looks like, I think is really important, because we don't always have that at work. And so people don't feel comfortable expressing what they're experiencing, or saying that they're struggling, or saying that they're having a hard time. And so emotions get shoved down until they become a really big problem, as opposed to a preventative problem, or, something that's one day of work as opposed to weeks of work. And if you can talk about it in a workplace a lot earlier, it can be a big difference.
And a lot of people have been suffering through this pandemic. It now appears the end is near, but that's not so easy, right? To just bounce back for everyone.
It isn't. I think that there's this like belief that we press pause and then all of a sudden we can go right back to 2020 where it was before the pandemic. And I think some people definitely can. There's a resilient group that will be like, oh, great, I get people again and I get my workplace again and I've really missed this. But I think there's definitely a group that hasn't really expressed their grief, or has no idea what this workplace is going to feel like, or they're really different. And we haven't really acknowledged that that's going to be different. And I think we're not talking about that enough. And so people are going to have a hard time, and we need to talk about that. We also need to talk about that things like trauma aren't like immediate. So you don't just go back to a workplace, feel bad immediately, and it's over. Or like the pandemic ends and everyone who's going to feel bad is going to feel bad on day one. It could be years, and that's not their problem. They're not weak because it's years. That's just how things work. So we need to have this sort of longitudinal mental health mindset. And when we think about this, especially as employers, and that's something we need to be thinking about when we're putting in policies, when we're thinking about investment, when we're thinking about all of us in the long term.
Dr. Gold, always good to have you here on Prime. We appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.